Hey guys, welcome to another week of Techcast. I'm Nine,
I'm for.
And I'm too.
and we got another special week of Techcast. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week, getting back into the groove. I know I bet you a lot of you guys are still writing down 2020 in your checks or your notes. It's going to take a while, but we're still in the new year, and because of that, there's a lot of new news to come through.
I know
And
I'm still right in 2020. It
it,
happened to me
it,
the other day. I'm looking for a piece of data and I'm searching for 2020. 2020, and I'm like, where is it? It's not here. No, it's 2021. That's why it's not there.
it will take at least a month, I guarantee you. For me, it's around my birthday when it starts to really click. But with the new year means new news and new content for you guys to share with you. So I have a lot to go through. So let's get the ball rolling. First things first, let's start with something soft. A little bit light for the gamers out there. I know I always got a couple of news for you guys out there. Uh, CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk hit the news again. I mostly wanted to put this in because we talked about this back in the release. I think two was the one that announced this. How buggy the launch was and stuff like that, right? So they heard our complaints, the issues evolved, and they made a response. So the founder apologized actually in a tweet with a live video explaining the rough launch and the roadmaps for the future. He explains some of the glaring issues for the last gen consoles have. He completely takes responsibility for the issues. He also explains what the future development for the game will be, and he stresses that for once and foremost, they're not done with this game. Bug fixes are going to be coming out. That's their top priority, and they're even pushing other future content and DLC in the back burner until they get patches done. And they note, this is a important one, that next gen updates for the next gen consoles are not coming out until the second half of 2021. So, what do you guys think about that?
Dude, I'll tell you what. I mean, I think it's good and all, but like, I mean, it doesn't discount the fact that they had a terrible release for this game that kept getting postponed to begin with.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's like I'm glad I'm on a PC because I wouldn't want to be playing this on PS4 or any old gen console right now. Like, I mean, I don't know. It just seems like it's much too little, much too late.
Yes, I think that's a important note to know. I think while the consensus of the apology is good, right, and I'm glad he made a statement on it. I think it still was the minimum to do, right? The minimum was to apologize for this. He knew what it was, the state he was, and he made, at the end of the day, he makes that call. What do you think too?
Yeah, no, there was a lot of hype around Cyberpunk. I think it got all the right press, all the right publicity. Unfortunately, CD Projekt Red couldn't execute. And that sucks, right? And I respect the founder for coming out and saying, hey, my bad. But and a lot of people are pissed, but I think this game has the potential. And if they get their shit together, I really think it could take off definitely this year, right? So
Yeah.
hopefully, they release it again. I know there was a lot of external pressure for them to release it the first time around, but hopefully they get it right this second time around.
100%. I mean, honestly, I have a copy of the game. One thing that he noted in his apology actually is that they developed it for PC first, and then they kind of ported it to the consoles.
They
Right?
just ported it, yeah.
Yeah. So
And you could tell the results of that when you
Yeah.
played the game.
100%. You can really see it. I mean, Forum also mentioned earlier, we have this on PC. It's a decent game, but even though that the idea was PC first and then console later, which is the abnorm in the industry, usually it's the other way around. The issue is that even on PC, it's still a buggy mess. Unfortunately, like even their best version is still a buggy mess that they're difficult to work through. And there's a lot of compilations, if you don't believe me, of PC gameplay of how buggy and how unstable it is at times.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a great game. I think it has the potential, and I think I think it can do very well. But it really comes down to how fast these bug fixes come through, how significant and how impactful they are actually, and how much content they release afterwards.
I agree.
Anyway, that's all. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure this is not going to be the last we hear about CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk. It's a game 7 years in the making, so probably 7 more years of content they got to squeeze out of it. Anyway,
Absolutely.
let's move on. This one, I don't know how. Always, I try to avoid it, but TikTok finds me, especially in my. It knows I have a beef with it, or sometimes I guess. So I guess it naturally tracks towards me. Opposites attract. But TikTok hit the news again, and they made a huge change to their services. So all under 16-year-old accounts have been made private and instantaneously across their servers. So that means that all users age under 16 will have their accounts automatically set to private, and these automatically set new measures to ensure, as they call, safety for children. These measures include only approved followers can now comment on their videos. Users are now prevented from downloading any video created by anyone under 16. These accounts will not be suggested to other users on the app. Accounts of 16, 17-year-olds will prevent others from downloading their videos. And TikTok is changing the age group default settings to allow only their chosen friends to duel, the feature. And users will now be able to duel with clips made by under 16-year-olds. So these are some of the changes that automatically get evoked as they're made private. What do you guys think about this?
So, one question: is it undoable? Like, if I'm 15, can I turn off private mode, or is it forced on now?
It's forced. So it's forced until you basically come of age of 18.
You see, I'm kind of conflicted on this. On one hand, I think it's a really good thing, and I know that there's a lot of kids on that app, and obviously kids don't make the best decisions always, and it's a good thing to protect them. But at the same time, thinking back to when I was under 16, I like to think that I was smart enough and made good enough decisions to not have my app be forced to be private. And I know, like, that would have annoyed me if I was, 15 and that happened.
Of course.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's, on one hand, like I said, it is good, but on the other hand, it's just, I know I wouldn't have liked it, so obviously other kids are not going to like it. I do think that it could be necessary in some cases, but just as a blanket statement, I'm not certain it's absolutely necessary. I would have to see, like, what made them make the decision. Like, were there, were there some occurrences that forced them to that? I don't know. I think you guys see what I'm saying, but...
Yeah, from what I hear, there were some occurrences of, like, users kind of, a lot of mature users kind of reacting, or I guess interacting with very underage children and stuff like that. And, are like, some sort of an instance. I personally don't know, but I heard there was like that, which is why the movie was started and why there was push on TikTok to do something about it. So this is not of them just simply reacting to nothing. This is them reacting to people asking for these changes. What do you think, too?
I like the move
Yeah.
that TikTok.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I like the move. I like the move that TikTok did. Right. Protecting children on the platform, I think, should be the first priority, and I think they're doing very well with that. Ironically, they're doing better than some U.S. firms when it comes to protecting children on social media under the age of 18. And so that's really interesting to see, and I think that's really, great for TikTok to do. But I still can't overlook that, like, they're sending everything to China, right? So it's like, although you're getting some good, right? Although you're getting some good publicity there, the rest of the world is not seeing what 16-year-olds do. China definitely is. So, like,
it's like, you can't fully condemn. You can't fully praise them.
But I'm glad that they're focused on creeping, the perverts, the pedophiles, and the creepers away from these little children, right?
And I'm actually just reading this a little bit more right now. If you look in that article, it says right here, these bold new package of measures were taken in order to reduce opportunities for groomers to contact children. So
yeah, exactly.
There must have been some major cases of
like I said earlier,
real creepy guys going after younger kids.
This is not a reaction of TikTok just reacting or pressing changes because of nothing, right? Like Facebook policy changes. This is people telling TikTok for a while, hey, there's some grooming or some, really bad situations going on, and you guys have no real measures.
That's some terrible situations.
And hopefully, and I'm just hoping that their under 17 user group doesn't just go in and change, like, their birthdays or some shit to, like, 18, right?
Oh, I'm sure they will. Absolutely they will.
I'm really glad you mentioned that, because that was one thing I was going to mention, and I'm surprised none of you guys actually brought up immediately. These guys can just lie.
Well, that's
There's no
true and
real
all. That is true and all. But it's all fun and games until you join something like the Creator Fund, and now you're getting paid, and all of a sudden there's tax implications for that. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I mean, I think you have to be over 18 to even be in the Creator Fund, actually, too. So I don't think they even have a chance in that fund unless they get into 18.
unless
So
they lie about their age.
unless they lie, so that goes back to full circle. So it's a very complicated thing.
See, I'm telling you, I just think that they're absolutely going to lie, right? I feel like them just taking an action like that isn't going to be solving the underlying problem.
It's not going to be
app,
solving,
so
but it's something that I think should be there. In the case, there are parents that still monitor their own children's activity, and they probably make the accounts for them, and they wouldn't lie in that cases. So, I think also once you put your birthday, you can't change it. So it would only really work if they were making new accounts.
which is so easy. It's 1, 2, 3.
It's 1, 2, 3, of course, but again, the measures are there. This is just the first steps, I think, and hopefully they are. But we'll see. Let's move on.
We'll see. Yeah.
We're going to our next major story here. I'm calling this one little piece messaging apps battle royales, because there's been a lot of stories about messaging apps this week.
Oh yeah.
So everyone had their little spot in the spotlight today, but the real I guess winner, or I guess say victim was WhatsApp. WhatsApp got really brutally attacked.
Absolutely.
And for a good reason. So if you guys didn't know, WhatsApp updated their privacy policy. So they updated the privacy policy in February. They're going to update it in February 8th. This new policy will force new users to share their data with Facebook. So automatically you have to now share all your information through directly to Facebook. Existing WhatsApp users can't who will previously opt out of sharing their data. Apparently, Facebook will still honor that opt-out for now. Those are some really scary terms at the end, but for now, Facebook will honor you if you previously said, "I don't want you to share my information with Facebook."
So can I opt out right now? Can I go change my settings?
If you are a current WhatsApp user and you said earlier that you opt out, then you should still be opt out. I don't know if you can change it if you said yes, but you should be able to opt out. I don't see any issue. You have it till I think February 8th. And apparently they will still honor that. But because of this whole headliner thing, right? A lot of people started not only attacking WhatsApp, but also started looking into alternatives for real secure, messaging apps, right?
Yep.
And there are a lot of names go on the board, right? But the one that really made, I guess, really great success with everything is Signal. So if you guys didn't know Signal, that's another messaging app that was hailing, the waves. And for one major important reason, you can kind of thank that success to our boy Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
So Elon Musk actually reacted, instantaneously to the policy update that the privacy policy that WhatsApp was making. He said some harsh words towards Facebook that I will not repeat here. But and on top of that, he also actually recommended Signal. He literally said on this last week with 2 words, use Signal. And since then, the app literally became number 1 on the App Store that week for United States, which has never hit before. Before it had about 40,000 downloads. After that tweet, it had about 65,000 downloads around the world.
Oh man.
And their stock also jumped I think 250% or some shit like that.
That's Elon for you. He's manipulating the stocks even though it's not even his own.
It's not even his company, and he could do it.
He's sharing the wealth around. So it's interesting. What do you guys think about this kind of battle between Signal and...
I love these types of platforms like Signal, and I've even seen Telegram a lot in the news and making big headway. Pretty much any end-to-end encrypted app that's not WhatsApp and allows for messaging over Wi-Fi is just booming this week.
Yes.
And I'm all for it. I'm absolutely all for it. So I think it's a great thing.
What do you think, too?
Yeah, look, we're starting the battle of the messaging apps, right? So, we saw now with Facebook screwing over WhatsApp, so it's going to be interesting to see what goes on here, right?
Yeah.
And now we have Signal, who's coming up again. Telegram's been busting out crazy good features lately, right? So can't really say much. I can't really say a lot there too. So it's gonna be exciting to see what happens. Hell, even this week, I don't know if you guys noticed, but if you guys go on Instagram, Instagram allows you to now make video chat group calls, and that you could also access outside of Instagram and use other Facebook apps to do that, right? So like everyone's really picking up the messaging game. I'm excited to see what happens. All I'm gonna say is Apple better step up with the iMessages, man, because like they're really falling behind now.
I mean,
Are
yeah.
they?
In terms of features,
Yeah.
they are. In terms of security, they're not. They're actually.
In terms of security, they're number one.
Yeah.
I would say.
Well, actually, they're actually number 2. So I actually want to get into a little bit this real quick for our audience, right? Because there's a lot of news going around about messaging apps and stuff like that. I think it's important to be clear in terms of at least security and maybe a little bit on features where each of them kind of stand right now, right? And at least give our honest opinion based on that. So the one you know 4 and 2 also have kept clearing out is a good contender for Signal is Telegram, right? And Telegram has hit the news before. It's been used for a lot of like great revolutions and protests because of its security and stuff like that. But you actually may be surprised that Telegram is actually not as secure as Signal. And actually Signal is actually more secure in terms of privacy than Telegram.
Explain.
So Telegram,
If I'm not wrong, I think Signal is also Mark Cuban's company.
I'm not sure about that actually. I know
I'm
it's
looking at it real quick.
Signal's an open source app by a nonprofit entity. I don't know if it's a Mark Cuban company. It's a
I could have
nonprofit.
sworn Mark Cuban invested in it. But anyway, continue.
So Telegram does have end-to-end encryption, right? But it only uses it really towards if you use its secret chat feature. So if you notice, Telegram has a secret chat feature that actually uses the end-to-end encryption, right? If you don't use that secret app feature, technically anyone who have access to Telegram servers can read your chat.
Well, that's it. Time to get off Telegram.
So that means app moderators, automatic algorithms can kind of use this. They actually need this for a reason. This is not just for like to invade your privacy. So the moderators and the automatic algorithms actually need this kind of see-through to prevent spam and abuse on the platform, right? It's kind of a way to monitor certain chat rooms and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, realistically, it doesn't matter. It's either you have end-to-end encryption and my information is private, or you don't and it's not.
Well,
the reason doesn't really matter to me, right? If I want privacy, I want privacy.
Currently, if you use Telegram's standard chat, it doesn't have end-to-end encryption. If you use their special secret chat feature, then it does. You have to make that distinction. Otherwise, it's not using encryption. In Signal, it's completely end-to-end. So it doesn't. What's it called? Also, in terms of Telegram, also collects a lot less data, while Signal I think collects like almost no data.
That's spectacular, man.
Also, disregard my Mark Cuban one with Signal. Turns out he does another security chat app called Dust, right? Which is again. Exactly. There's too many chat apps. I can't keep track of them.
But
I just downloaded another one. I'm on Signal now, boys.
So the distinction to make though clearly is that Signal is a lot less feature heavy than Telegram, right? As Stu mentioned before, Telegram's really killing it with the features, and they're not stopping. The reason they have so much downloads, they have great features that are very user friendly, very user convenient, and make for a lot of interaction between users and their chat rooms, right? They have a lot of bots that also Signal that do a lot of like great stuff. I know we have a couple of friends that use them to do a lot of cool stuff with the chat rooms and stuff like that. So Telegram does have its points, right? It really does come down to: are you someone who 100% all in for security and privacy, and don't care if you miss some key features? Then Signal I think is the way to go. If you're someone who does want a strong security foundation, but you don't really care, it's completely end-to-end encrypted, and you kind of want the whole roundabout of features, I think Telegram still does have a place. And of course, there's iMessage, but you have that limitation of only works by phone. So, Signal I think is boosting for a reason. So, what do you guys think about that?
Bro,
I think Signal's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
Right. I think Signal definitely has gotten the attention now that it needs from major players and from the world at this point, especially with Elon backing it up now. We'll see if they could capitalize on it. I'm telling you, like if Signal puts in the features that Telegram has and that these other chat applications has, and still maintains the security preferences here, you're gonna see a lot of competition come up real quick, right? And it's gonna be really cool to see. And so I'm very happy that security is now a forefront, right? But Signal also goes without its reputation of working under the shadows, how terrorist groups use it and stuff like that too, right? So like,
Of course.
we have to be very careful along this fine line that we're seeing now with this new publicity. But I think if done right, dude, it's going to the moon.
Dude, I'll tell you right now, I don't think there's anything at this point you can really do about the fact that you've got a whole bunch of different dark level organizations on an app like Signal, because, I mean, realistically, encryption is just so, I guess, available right now. And even if you don't have an app that does end-to-end encryption, you can end-to-end encrypt your messages yourself. I mean, how hard would it be realistically to make a browser plugin that just allows you to send blobs of encrypted text and it automatically decrypts it? Like you could probably write that plugin in like all in one day, where you just copy paste your key into the browser plugin, and bam, it just automatically decrypts.
One day, that'll take like 2 hours. Just pull something off GitHub.
Like it really, like even if they disable end-to-end encryption, just send encrypted messages and then use something like PGP or something else like that. Like there's really nothing that the government can do at this point to stop encryption. Like it's a thing, it's math. You can't unlearn math, so I just don't see a way for them to really control it.
You'd be surprised. I have done very well on unlearning math in my. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's important to know that we're, I think, pretty knowledgeable about apps and technology, and these guys didn't even know that about the limitations of Telegram and end-to-end encryption, right? So like, it's pretty easy for anyone else out there who's getting very confused with it. But to sum it up, if you're really heavy on privacy, I think Signal's your way to go. If you're not totally care and you want the features now and you want it to be convenient, Telegram should be on your forefront. Anyway, let's move on. I'm gonna hit to my big major story of the week, and none of you guys actually guessed what was the big event that happened this year, and I wouldn't be surprised why. With the whole COVID thing, it kind of made less of a noise, but it still hit its rise in the technology world, and that's CES. So CES. You guys know what CES is?
CES?
Isn't that the consumer show?
Consumer Electronics Show?
Yeah, it's Consumer Electronics Show. Where all companies come and they show off their biggest, fattest, most extravagant gifts, products, and concepts that they have.
Well, you said gift. Am I getting a gift? Are you giving me
No.
something?
No.
Are you giving us something?
No gift for you.
The 100 million chair?
No.
Did you finally get us the 100 million chair?
No. I don't got gifts right now, unfortunately. But I can give you the gift of knowledge.
Okay, fine. I'll take it.
And when you see what's on the floor, you'll be very knowledgeable. So, a lot of companies every year, CES does like the most spectacular stuff. You see the most outlandish things, and this year is no different, right? This was the first time that they did it online only, so it's been kind of crazy. But they announced some crazy things. So I kind of want to spend the rest of just Techcast going over with you some of the standard product updates that you would expect, but also some of the most crazy ones that you wouldn't expect at all. And I guarantee you, there's going to be at least 2 that you did not expect will be a thing. All right, so
let's see. Go ahead.
Hit us with it.
The first things first, let's start something standard, something easy you guys all would expect. Intel started off the event announcing, of course, updated processors. Their 11th gen processors for their Chromebook, and they previewed their future Ladder Lake desktop chips. It basically, and they also announced a new 35-watt H series chips. These are supposed to be for low power gaming chips that are perfect for a new type of gaming laptop, which means it can. So there's a lot of these new H series will allow for high performance in gaming laptops without all the the power consumption and heat. And
I hear low power. I immediately think, oh my god, that thing can overclock well.
Yeah, very well then. Let's move, but that's pretty much it. Intel, it's kind of predictable where they're going to go with their announcements. Let's go to LG. Also kind of predictable. They're the forefront of screens and stuff like that. So they took a major significant step with their already industry-leading OLED technology. they have this new one called LED Neo. It's supposed to be a more brighter OLED. That's pretty much the biggest. If you guys didn't know, the biggest issue right now with OLED is that sometimes it's too dim compared to its counterpart LED. But this one's supposed to be even brighter, better, and even more affordable, quote unquote.
I will tell you, I've actually never really seen a problem with my OLED panel. Like I don't think it's too dim. I think it's okay brightness. You know, it's in my living room. I have bay windows, other windows. I've never really had a hard time seeing the screen. And you know, if they're able to make it even brighter and get better contrast like that, it's interesting. I'm excited to see it.
Well, they're supposedly these are new, also going to be more affordable, quote unquote. I say affordable with quotes because it's still relatively in the thousands.
Still expensive as shit.
Yeah, it's so expensive. But you know, with years you'll see it eventually come down to its reasonable price range. Anyway, let's go on. This one's kind of special because we literally just talked about this, I think, last week. You know, you talked about, I think it was you talked about the new Wi-Fi 6, right? Bands and whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're releasing, you know, they're continuing on with that step with the next generation of Wi-Fi, they're calling it, with a lot of new networking companies unleashing their new Wi-Fi 6E routers. So these are basically, you know, Wi-Fi routers that take more advantage of this new brand approach, makes it more, you know, network compatibility, more devices, you know, the standard thing. They're calling it the next generation of Wi-Fi. It's pretty fascinating, I would say. Let's hit some of the concepts. So if you guys didn't know, LG had a concept of a rolled up phone. So literally how it sounds, a phone you can like roll up into like a little, I guess like a burrito.
I don't know.
You can stretch it and stuff like that. It's pretty fascinating. Samsung also had this weird digital cockpit that you can like kind of move around and all that stuff. There's a lot of crazy concepts going around right now. I don't know if you saw, but there was one with I think it was Chrysler, right? They released their like helicopter, like their mini helicopter concept. That's like making rounds right now on Twitter. It's pretty crazy. There's a lot of great concepts. This CS is pretty much the conference for concepts. This is where tech companies really throw out their most outlandish concepts and see if the public responds well to it. So you're gonna see a lot more. But now I want to move on to some. I forgot TCL. You guys know what TCL is?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. They're it's a TV brand. They're kind of more about the affordable side range, right? They actually created a wearable display HD TV into a pair of sunglasses.
Oh wow.
Wow.
That's pretty I guess interesting. I don't know how you really dying to watch some live sports, but you want to still chill and look cool. I think that's your product. For gaming, this company made these gaming gloves that can apparently read your muscle signal and click before your fingers even move, which means that it can technically predict when you're going to click on your mouse before you even click on your mouse, thus allowing you to be more responsive.
What?
That's interesting.
So pro level gaming is about to get much higher bars, so I hope you get ready for that. You got to not only train your muscles, but you got to train your brain too. LG also had a new futuristic concept. They're not the only. They're also one in the concept board. They had this new pop-up transparent OLED TV. So it's an OLED TV that you can see through.
That's interesting, man. Oh god.
What else? There's a new doorbell. You know those rings and types of products, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's a new video doorbell that was announced during the platform that apparently can tell if the person on your doorstep has a fever. So
that's actually dope.
That's really cool.
So you know, I don't know if you guys have been to the hospitals and stuff, but they have like those little like iPads and stuff that kind of scan your face and kind of tell your temperature, right? And they kind of see if you're sick or not based on your temperature, right? It kind of uses that same technology. It kind of like similar how Rings already kind of like take a video of whoever's at your door. It also just scans to see if the person has a fever, which is, you know, great for this time of pandemic we're in right now. And in Berkeley, you know, the guys who usually buddy with Apple, with their line of accessibility products and stuff like that, they also made their own wireless earpods. They look pretty much similar to AirPods, right? But the unique thing about these things is that they use Apple's Find My technology. You know, the Find My app.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
They use that technology in case you lose them. So they're kind
Interesting.
of leveraging Apple's
That's
tech
pretty dope.
to help, which I think is the only pair of non-Apple headphones that are using that technology. So that's pretty interesting. I guess.
I believe it is, and I'm surprised Apple like gave them like the permission for that.
Well, they're pretty. Like I said, they're pretty buddies with them. They're always like the first line to make accessories for their products, right after Apple, because you know they have a strong relationship. If you ever go to the Apple store, half of their accessories are from them, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I guess.
So you know, it totally makes sense for why they're going that way. Another cool thing, what's it called? There's this next gen smart glasses that are from Vulcan. They incorporate more micro LEDs, display engines. They have projectors on each eyes, and they create basically high density pixel picture in each lens. I don't know what you would need that for, but it sounds really fun and expensive. And of course, last thing, Alienware announced new gaming laptops. Right?
Of course they did.
These things are crazy though, and I gotta admit, I'm kind of wanting one. They're gonna use the new GeForce RTX 3080 GPUs on these laptops, with 360 hertz refresh rate. And it's gonna have Tobii eye tracking and support up to 32 gigs DDR4 RAM, and it can have up to 4 terabytes in RAID 0 configs. So
That's pretty crazy.
These things are no lightweight. Yeah, with 3080s on your back running your things, you can pretty much run any game you want with no issues on a laptop. I'm kind of curious what the heat production on those things are, but
massive. I'll tell you right now, massive.
Yeah, you're gonna need like a win, like a essentially.
Let me tell you something, okay? When it comes to just gaming laptops right now in general, okay. Now, please tell me if I'm wrong about this, because maybe I am, but. Mm-hmm. I think gaming companies, or I'm sorry, like compute companies, are taking thinness way too seriously on their gaming products.
Interesting.
And now hear me out. Like, I know I have a thin laptop for gaming. My brother has a thin laptop for gaming. I have, like, you know, friends and whatnot that have them. And they always do their best to be like, oh, we do this for thinness and this and that and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, please, like, now I'm sitting here with my laptop on my lap, burning me to death because you wanted to keep this thing at under an inch thick. Like, just make it a little bit thicker. Give it good cooling. You know, when you have to run a laptop that hot, you're burning yourself. You're hurting your components. You're reducing longevity of your computer. Like, just please do it correctly. And like, I don't care about a half an inch. Like, I'm getting a gaming laptop. It's already heavy. A little bit of extra bulkiness isn't going to kill me if it means that I can have a better experience, have the laptop last longer, and not have it be 1,000 degrees on, you know, sitting in front of me. But that's just my, that's what grinds my gears.
I would say if I have to, I usually don't like blaming one for a problem like that, but I would have to say Apple's kind of the forefront for that issue. They were kind of the ones that made it popular of making thin laptops, and everyone kind of just copied them. And that's why we have that issue now. So hopefully, yeah, I totally agree with you. Anyway, I want to get to the last two things, the last two concepts. I guess one of them is not really a concept, but I really want to get your impression on these, right? The first one's not too outlandish. It's kind of like, whatever. But the second one, you're going to be like, what world do we live in, right? So the first one is called Cold Snap. You know those Coke machines for, like, coffee?
Yeah.
Right? You get the little pods in, you pull it down, put the water, coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, now imagine that for ice cream.
You've got me interested now. Oh my god.
Cold Snap. So Cold Snap is a rapid freezing application that can create single-serving frozen concoctions and beverages in less than 2 minutes. It is literally marketed as the Kirkrig machine for soft serve ice cream. It uses
2 minutes?
Less than 2 minutes. And it uses little pods similar to the Kirkrig's pods that freezes and dispenses the content of it in less than 120 seconds. It can make servings of ice cream, frozen yogurt, coffee, frozen smoothies, cocktails, slushies, and more. And they aim that the primary reason that people slip away from diets is convenience. So it's nice. Pretty much they're trying to make this super convenient for anyone, right? They're going to say a beta launch for this is planned in the Boston area this summer with a wider availability after the company sees how the product performs in a commercial market.
Is this
What do you
supposed to be
guys
like a healthy alternative?
Kind of. They kind of market it as kind of healthy focus, but
It's just immediate access to ice cream. Why ask questions?
yeah, I guess yeah. Why ask questions in this case? I mean, I really don't know. I don't think it's supposed to be healthy because it is ice cream, right? And then they haven't really said it's supposed to be healthy. I think it's just the idea of making it convenient. So because you can't really make ice cream healthy, so I wouldn't say they're trying to make it healthy. It's just they're trying to make it convenient.
Understood.
So what do you guys think about that? Would you guys get one? I think
Yes,
it's gonna
I think I would.
Okay.
I'm tempted, honestly. I am tempted.
Listen, here's the thing, right? Like, I don't have the room in my kitchen for any more of these types of things. Like, I feel like every time one of these cool items comes out, it's like, oh, gotta get a Keurig, gotta get a latte machine, gotta get an air fryer, gotta get a panini press, I need a toaster, this and that. It's like, I don't have room for all of these small appliances. I can't fit them anywhere.
They keep adding up.
They add up, and then I make no use out of any of them because I don't have the counter space to keep them all out. So now I gotta put them away, box them up, and then it's like, when the heck am I gonna be like, oh, let me get ice cream, and then I gotta go downstairs, dig out the machine, and it's like at that point I might as well just go to the store and buy ice cream. So it like takes out the convenience.
100%. I mean, yeah. I also have a big ass kitchen for everything. This is pretty much you gotta just choose the best of all of them and just stick with it.
This is like this is like a rich person's access to convenient ice cream because they have big kitchens and can fit it out all the time.
This is a rich person's first world problem. But should I have the ice cream machine or the coffee machine? Panini press. Also, as I was researching this product, right, I learned that Keurig actually had another product that they just released about 2 weeks ago called the Keurig DreamWorks Home Bar.
Yes, they do have that. I saw it in the store the other day.
Yeah, and it's basically it's just a Keurig machine, but for cocktails.
Yep.
And I didn't know that existed, and I kind of want. But yeah, these. So I mean, realistically, it seems like these kind of pod applicated devices are becoming more and more popular. Do you guys see that as a good thing, a bad thing?
I think it's pretty good thing. I don't really see a downside to this, right? I mean, like, is it Wi-Fi connected? Am I gonna get hacked for having this ice cream maker in my house? Because if it is, maybe that's a downside. But
I guess, but that's.
I mean, what are they gonna do? Just give you more ice cream? That sounds like a win-win to me. There.
No, that ain't no win-win. Ain't no win-win. These IoT devices are incredibly insecure. They have a lot of them have terrible insecurities. Like, remember when the smart fish feeder was responsible for a hack in some hotel or some casino?
Or I remember that. I did remember that. Yeah. I mean, another thing also, you gotta remember also these. A lot of people might also argue the waste of plastic. The pods.
They're recyclable. At least on the Cold Snap one, they are. Did you see the video? I was watching.
Yeah, the Cold Snaps are. The Cold Snaps are. Not all of them are. Not the regular ones. So as long as they make them all recyclable, I think that's a good thing. I think I really don't see a downside. I think the only downside is where can I put this thing?
You know what else is a really good side about them too?
What?
You could on the Keurig ones. I don't know if you're aware of this, but you don't have to use the pods.
Oh yeah, you can get a little application that lets you put coffee grains.
Correct, exactly. I have that. And occasionally I do that, and it's
I keep forgetting about that.
Gets rid of the waste, and it's cheaper too.
To be fair, I mean, if you look like Costco or some other places, you can get like a bunch of those pods for like really cheap.
You can.
To be fair, I don't drink coffee like that, so like
that's your problem.
That is your problem.
Anyway,
I'm a tea guy, guys.
Last thing, they probably have one for tea too, actually. Last thing, and you guys are not gonna believe this, but Razors have made some incredible concepts during this conference, and I almost guarantee you.
Razer, like the scooter company?
No, Razer, like the gaming company.
Like the gaming company. You guys can make keyboards. My current keyboard actually, and my mouse, microphones,
headsets,
all the gaming rigs and stuff like that. So I want you guys to take a hint. Knowing that they make gaming rigs and all that, LEDs, all those stuff. What do you think their concept that they unveiled during the conference?
A chair.
Okay, good. Actually, you actually got one of them. Actually. Good job.
Desk?
No.
1 second, let's think.
It's more than a chair, though. It's not just a chair.
A couch. A recliner.
Close. I mean, the chair can do that. It can recline.
But it's not a recliner. Chair can recline, but it's not a recliner.
Okay, well, it's more than a chair, and that's not even the one I thought you were going to. I knew you were going to get that one.
All right, go ahead. Tell us. Let's see it.
All right, I'm putting it right now. They have announced a concept for an N95 mask was RGB and voice projection.
Oh, that's so cool! Look at this. Oh man.
So they have created a reusable NR5 what's it called, masks. They're calling it the Project Hazel. It is only a concept design right now, right? But they pretty much outline how it will be used. It has a glossy outside shell with waterproof and scratch-resistant recycled plastic. The reason they made it all clear on the mask side is for lip reading and facial cues, right? Which is a big problem right now for a lot of people, a lot of disabled people, unfortunately.
Yep.
And it's supposed to have, no joke, their chroma RGB LEDs.
Bro, that's so cool. Look at this thing. I see that. I immediately think of Metro Last Light or Redux or whatever.
Yep, exactly. So their little respirator rings are gonna light up and glow in the dark, glow in the color you're choosing. When it gets dark, a set of LEDs will activate automatically to shine light on your mouth so that others can see you talk. They also added it's certified to filter 95% of airborne particles, including COVID-19 virus and other common, protogens. They will also each mask will also include a large charging case that will sterilize the mask with UV light when it's not in use.
God damn.
Dude, I don't care what this thing costs. I'm buying it. I don't care.
You're nuts. It's probably like $2,000.
I do not care. I'm buying this mask.
There's no price. So cool. There's no date currently. They also mentioned they don't have any necessary approvals or certifications from the health or from the Food or Drug Administration or Central Disease Control and Prevention currently. But they said they are working with a team of medical experts and scientists who are helping develop the mask.
Can you imagine you get mugged for your mask?
I mean, it's good math.
Bro.
What if the mask calls the cops for you?
You just gotta be like, "Excuse me, sir, I'm wearing this for your protection. I have COVID. Thank you." And then they'll leave.
Now it's my protection. I mean, you can turn off the RGBs if you're worried about that too. I mean, if you're worried, that's what the
yes, because the RGBs are the biggest concern I have with this mask, right?
I'm glad
the guy who loses his mask every 3 days, like.
I'm glad they are. Oh yeah, that's a good point. I forget about that. You do lose your mask a lot. Well, I hope you're ready to lose probably $1,000 worth of mask.
Yeah, I'm not getting this mask.
Dude, I'm buying it. This is so cool. Oh my god. I'm like in shock. This is probably the coolest thing that's unveiled at CES this year, no joke.
It's pretty much just the biggest, like, wow.
I mean, I think the ice cream thing is still up there.
Ice cream's pretty good too, I'm not gonna lie. There have been some other things I unfortunately just don't have time to talk about. But like there was a lot of good things. There was a Samsung bathtub that like uses like bamboo as a foundation, and it kind of uses the bamboo to like vibrate the sound waves and kind of mix relaxing music. There's this new I think Samsung refrigerator that's pretty outlandish. I think there was a like this receiver or something that like basically like has like an AI or something. I couldn't remember. The other thing also I forgot to mention that you guys were kind of close on was the chair I said earlier. That's their project.
Knew it.
Their Project Brooklyn concept, which is essentially a chair that has a roll around screen with RGB lights and what's it called?
That's pretty sick.
Armrest.
Dang.
This pretty much is the ultimate gaming brick. Like it literally, the screen actually comes out of the chair. It doesn't hang over the chair always. It literally unfolds in front of you, and then you have a screen. And the screen is supposed to be like what is it, like 27 degrees around spin, right? A full 60 OLED display. It's supposed to have like transformable 4D armrest. Oh yeah, the armrests give vibrations based on like the gaming that's happening on the screen. Like it shakes you and stuff like that. It's like a 4D experience. So that's pretty much most of the best things about CES. So what do you guys think to round it up?
That was cool, man. A lot of that stuff is really neat, but like, for me, honestly, that mask is the number one. That is the coolest thing I think I've seen in a long time.
I'm telling you, like that mask is even I was like, man, maybe I'll get one. It is like a lot of concepts to think about, but honestly, it is one of those things where like it's a product of its time, right? Imagine unveiling this last year, same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
It would have made no headline. It would have people would be like, why? But literally a year later, at the perfect timing of everything going on, this is like literally a product of our time right now.
If they would have unveiled that last year, people would have blamed them for COVID and having some hand at it. Being like, you guys just started making RGB masks and now there's a pandemic. What's going on here?
You were ready. What we were ready. But yeah, another thing I was also I wanted to mention real quick was the this AI powered collar that apparently can translate your dog's barks and body language. There's a lot of like weird stuff CES. So I encourage all our viewers out there. The CES convention is still going on. Take a look at some of the products. It's pretty outlandish. It's a cool glimpse into the future.
Interesting. Yeah.
Well, anyway, thank you guys for watching Techcast. I hope you really enjoyed it. Don't forget to follow us on our social medias. Like, subscribe, message us, and tell us what you think.
At the 429 podcast on pretty much every site.
Yep, and check us out and let us know what you think. This is 9. I'm signing off, and take care, guys. Hope you have a great week.
Yep. Later, guys.
Bye,
Be
guys.
good.